Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at something that honestly I can only really describe as just corny, because I don't really agree with doing things like this, with kind of filming these drivers, and I mean, it doesn't even really matter if they're celebrity figures or former celebrity figures, whatever you want to consider people like this. It doesn't even really matter to me. It's not the way you treat people regardless. You don't really record people in this situation and treat them this way and act this way towards people, because these are people making an honest living. This is people when they're at work, basically. And to treat people like this when they're trying to do their job, even actually, you know what, I take that back. To treat people like this when they're not doing their job is already bad enough, but to then film them and try to humiliate them on the internet while they're doing their job, I would say is even just a tad bit worse. So the video I'm about to show you guys, and then we're going to break down afterwards and talk about a little bit here, is basically a video that has now leaked onto the internet surrounding rapper and, well, TV celebrity now, Yung Joc. If you're a little bit younger, you might not remember when Yung Joc was actually popular in the rap scene, but there was actually a time where Yung Joc was at the top of the music scene and was being nominated for Grammys and a lot of other really accomplished awards in the rap industry, but those times have passed. I mean, it's the truth. From like 2006 to about, I don't know, maybe 2008, he was like really big in music, but honestly, yeah, he's been more of like TV, movie kind of guy ever since then, if we're being honest. And that's fine. I mean, it happens, you know, it's not like he's the only person that this has ever happened to, but it's kind of hard to declare that he fell off, because, I mean, with a lot of these artists, when you say that they fell off, we're talking about like they went from their height to just complete bankruptcy. Now, Yung Joc, of course, yeah, he went from his height to a completely different level. I mean, he's no longer like at his height of popularity. He's no longer as famous as he used to be, things like that. But he's not completely broke, just, you know, down at his bottom, you know. He's still doing fine. And even though he is doing Uber or whatever, doing an Uber-like job in this video, I'm gonna show you guys with a little bit of evidence behind it that he's at least doing okay for himself and that he has some money to his name. And this isn't some sort of desperation or something that he's got going on here, like he's, you know, struggling to pay the bills. So, gonna go ahead and roll the clip now. Go ahead and take a look at this.
You know, it's a new company, so I've been doing probably like really about 30 to 40 days.
You sound like somebody I know.
Huh?
You sound like somebody I know.
I mean, somebody you know, like who?
I don't know. What's your name?
I told you. Are you? I just want to ask a question. Are you Yung Joc?
Can you turn around?
I mean, I think y'all already put that part together, yeah.
Oh, so you must have fell off or something. Like, why'd you?
I gotta fall off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure out. Like, you just driving for pull up and go. Like, what happened?
I mean, I just felt like it's an easy way to get some easy money right here downtown. I mean, I meet people, you know what I'm saying?
I really think that's okay.
You think that's what?
So you said, like, what happened?
Now, you'll notice, obviously, they immediately notice who he is. I mean, let's be honest, they probably knew before they even said anything who this was, and it was pretty clear, like, if you've heard his voice or anything before, you could recognize who he was. And, of course, I don't have a problem with it, you know? Personally, I'm not going to sit here and make fun of him for doing this or anything. I don't think it's a big deal, but I would also like to point out before going any further that people who drive Ubers and people who do, like, Lyft and things like this, especially since he said, like, it's an easy way to make money in the downtown area, like, if you're driving in, like, especially a big city, if you're driving in, like, high-demand areas like downtown where people, you know, they don't want to walk 5-10 blocks to go to a different destination, there's high traffic, things like that, you can make decent money doing this kind of shit. If you just spend a couple hours a day doing this kind of stuff, it's not like he's gonna make $20 a day doing this. You know what I'm saying? This kind of side hustle can very easily pull in some extra pocket change that down the road, I mean, with the right mentality, yes, it can come in handy. But what I want to point out, and what a lot of other people have pointed out too, how are you going to clown the person driving you around? You know what I'm saying? So they like to say, oh, you fell off. Oh, you fell off. But the thing is you don't have a car. That's why I would assume you had to call for an Uber. Because if you had a car or you had a vehicle to drive yourself around in, you probably would not have to get yourself an Uber. But then when you realized that it was a celebrity that was driving you around, that it was Yung Joc, the person that you probably used to listen to back in the day, oh, you fell off. Oh, now you're making fun of him. He's below you now. How exactly does that work? Especially considering he's probably the richest person in this car. Even if, yeah, he's not at the peak of what he used to be. Yeah, he's not at his pinnacle anymore. He's not at the height of his fame and his career anymore. He's still probably the richest person in this car without a doubt. And let's just say hypothetically he wasn't, right? Let's just say hypothetically he was in the gutter. He threw all his money out the window and everything. What right does that really give anyone to start recording him and like making fun of him and just being an asshole? You know what I'm saying? That just, it's not really the right thing to do regardless. Personally speaking, let's say I got into an Uber, right? And any of the athletes that I watched from my childhood that have inevitably thrown all of their goddamn money away and just thrown their careers down the drain was driving the Uber, and I immediately recognized who it was. I would not pull my phone out and start recording them and make a spectacle out of them and start belittling them. Oh, you must have really fallen off. Oh, look at you. Oh, you know, making fun of them. Because at the end of the day, they're still a person. They're not an object for you to belittle and make fun of. And people are bringing up the point, oh, well, why is he doing this if he has money? He says that he's doing it because it's a good way to make some extra money on the side. And honestly, that's a good mentality to have. And especially in a situation like his, I would say that's also a really good mentality to have, especially, like I said, he's not at the pinnacle of his career anymore. He doesn't have it like he used to. I mean, he's not out here putting out hits anymore that are getting Grammy nominated. He's not going to go sign some ridiculous record deal or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let's consider his financial situation just to think about it. So let's consider just this path. Let's say he didn't piss away all of his money and he's kept himself in a good financial state over his entire career. He's kept his money right and he just, you know, he's made good investments for himself, kept his money in the bank, things like that. Well, first off, he signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Bad Boy South in the spring of 2005 after recording his hit song, It's Going Down. There we go, already got millions of dollars on the table right there. He was also featured on the songs Showstopper by Danity Kane and Cassie's album track Call You Out. He was then featured on 2006 Forbes Richest Rappers list, ranking at number 20, having grossed approximately $10 million in just that year. So $10 million. Let's say he was taxed, I don't know, 25% of it and, you know, lost another 10% of it in miscellaneous costs, so $6.5 million. But of course, that was way back in the day. This website puts his net worth currently at $8 million and says that he makes over $1.8 million a year. He made approximately $500,000 from the record sales of his gold record New Joc City and $250,000 from Hustlenomics. He said that he made $7 to $8 million off of New Joc City in publishing and licensing rights as well, which is different from the record sales. He earned $15,000 from the licensing of his single It's Going Down. And of course, he earns money anytime a single is played on the radio or Spotify or Pandora or Apple Music or anything. So just taking a look at Spotify, he has almost 1 million listeners every single year. Or I'm sorry, not a year, a month. I read that wrong, my bad. So I went ahead and did a little bit of research here. And apparently, according to this website, when this band had a total number of streams of about 1,023,501, they made about $4,955.90 for an average per stream payout of, well, yeah, you see it. If this is to be trusted, and of course I'll leave my source down below and everything, so you guys can check that out. If this is to be trusted though, we'll go ahead and multiply this by his monthly listeners. Of course, the monthly listeners could, you know, listen to multiple songs every month by him, or listen to a song multiple times a month. But we'll assume, just for the sake of argument here, they only listen to one song, okay? He would have made $4,780.40 when you round it down. And of course, that's just off one platform. You still have to think about Pandora, Apple Music, sales on iTunes and other streaming and, you know, all the other sites and everything that could be done on. So he could easily be pulling in, what, $10,000, $15,000 a month on online sales and streaming services? But of course, that's just music. We're not considering anything else here. He still has filmography to consider. So he is currently doing 2 television series that we have to consider: Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and Leave It to Stevie. So he's been doing these for years now. These aren't new shows or anything. These are established shows. And apparently he earns a salary of $50,000 per episode of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and he has appeared in 82 episodes so far. So this is a huge portion of his wealth, and it is rumored that he makes a similar salary for his 2 seasons on Leave It to Stevie. He earns a smaller but steady amount from YouTube views of his music videos and his contract with Rap Snacks. He owns a hair salon and a luxury car rental business in Atlanta, Georgia, so he owns businesses. So he is a business owner, he has all of his music streams and licenses and all that stuff to go off of. He's on television, and he's also doing Uber and stuff on the side, but yeah, he fell off, and he has no money, and people are belittling him for this. Can someone please explain to me, like, what the whole picture is here? Like, what he can be made fun of for this? I'm not really sure. If anything, I think this behavior should be fucking praised, because this is some hard work. You know what I'm saying? He's out here putting in effort to keep his wealth up and to keep himself going. I mean, if anything, a lot of people in this kind of position would just get complacent and would just give up. And they would, you know, oh, I got enough. Oh, I got enough. And they would go piss it away. You see celebrities do that all the time. But it's funny how the people who get in the back of the Uber, who have to pay someone else to drive them around because they don't have the vehicle, which I don't really think there's anything wrong with that, but I mean, for this sake, we'll go ahead and point this out, you know? It's funny how they're the ones who are now making fun of and belittling somebody else for doing this job. That's kind of like going through the McDonald's drive-thru and making fun of the McDonald's workers making your chicken nuggets. You know what I'm saying? So when I saw this, and I gotta give a shout out to Josh Pescator over on Twitter because he made me, I guess, aware of this whole situation. But when I saw this, I was kind of floored because it just didn't make sense to me. But thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on my channel. Follow me over on Twitter at @SubToOptimus. I post memes, thoughts, and updates over there. It's a surefire way to get notifications of all my newest content. Join the Discord down below. Lots of great things going on down there as well. Thank you to my channel members. Your support helps my channel tremendously. I know there's been a couple of music videos, music-related videos done here on the channel recently. Not sure if there's going to be many more coming up here in the future. Depends on what kind of topics come up, though. But until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, defending Yung Joc, which I didn't think I was ever going to make a video about something like this, but signing out.